Happy Sunday, Broncos country. It is the Mile High Monsters. Mike Carmellini, along with NFL expert and my good friend Colin Cronin. Dublin to Denver podcast. Colin from Cork on Twitter. Colin, good to see your beautiful face. How are you, sir?
Very well, Mike. Hope you enjoyed America's 250th birthday celebrations this past weekend.
All my fingers still there. No redneck accidents for me. I protected all my limbs and my eyes and ears, actually. So I didn't partake that much. I wanted to prep for this show. Now, what do you do in Ireland? Do you riot over the 250th, or does it just pass by like another day and nobody gives it a second thought?
No, there are quite a few celebrations over not even just yesterday, because the ambassador, I think, had a party during the week, and then there was another party yesterday. There were various kind of events. I mean, there's a lot of links between our two nations.
Yes.
So while it is not anywhere near the event, obviously, that it is stateside, similarly to St. Patrick's Day. I mean, St. Patrick's Day, obviously, it's a big day here, still gets celebrated in America.
Yeah.
4th of July is your big day, it still gets celebrated over here.
Well, as Americans, we celebrate St. Patty's Day pretty hardcore. I'm not saying we do it for the right reasons, but it's an excuse to party, drink, wear green, drink green beer, leprechauns. I don't know. We get her done because we have freedom here, and that's what we do. We're very free. David, official monster. Happy 4th to my Broncos country. David, great to see you in here. Thanks for joining up. Colin, we talked last week. I really enjoyed that show. We got into some of the offensive roster, and then you brought up a very interesting article by Barnwell where I seem to recall it was like the best players since 2006, and you tested me to see how close I would come, and I think that one made pretty much sense to you and I, and even Barnwell. It lined up pretty well. Now we're going to do that again on this show, I take it. We talked just before we came on live, and I decided not to look up any names. So we'll do it blind again. But first, I want to talk to you about the defense. What's your, with JFM gone, with Cooper likely gone, maybe likely gone, I would think. PJ Locke is gone. We added Anderson. We got some draft picks. Like from last year to this year, kind of what's your overall sense of, without going into the whole, we don't have to get too deep into the weeds with it, but like overall 1,000-foot view, what are your thoughts on the defense for 2026 season coming up?
I think there's a lot to like, but I think that comment from David is a piece that we need to see more of, right? One of the things that made the 2015 defense such an elite unit was the ability to take the ball away in a really meaningful time, and keep Talib's pick six ability, which was truly phenomenal.
Yeah, that was something.
So I think you look at across and you say there's some nice pieces there. I think what you would have to say, Mike, is it's difficult to play for the defense to play at an elite level for 3 years in a row. And I've said it before, I'll continue to say it. If Vance Joseph can coach a defense to do that, he deserves any job that comes up in the NFL next offseason. But you would have to say that there are a couple of pieces that might give a little bit of cause for concern. I mean, this is an area where the Broncos have been traditionally so strong, right? I think in all our time watching the Broncos, it's very often the defense that has excelled. There are obviously some exceptions. The 2013 offense obviously stands out. But when you go right back to the days of the Orange Crush and the no fly zone, it's a lot of the guys who kind of stand out: Randy Gradishar, Carl Mecklenburg, Steve Atwater, Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, Akeem Talib, Chris Harris. They played on the defensive side of the ball, so it is something that is synonymous with the Broncos. And I expect this defense to be very good. The question, Mike Carmellini, is can it be elite?
Well, it can. Whether it will or not, I think remains to be seen. I would not predict it to be elite. Elite to me, Colin, is the 2015 Broncos, the Chicago Bear defense of 85, the 85 Bears. Teams like that were elite. Like, you had to beat that defense or they would beat you. They would literally win games for you. And in 2015, the Broncos defense did that. This defense, last year's defense, the year before, has been really good. But I wouldn't say they were dominant. They didn't seem to impose their will very often. And sometimes I think that can be a result of what the offense hands you a little bit too. What kind of field position, how much time they stay on the field so that you can get rest. So I think it's obviously a team sport. We can look at it. I guess I just, the word elite to me, like 10 years from now, are people going to be talking about the 2025 Broncos defense? And I don't think they will. I think in Broncos country, I think we might go, that was a good defense. We had PS2. We had, some great players. Bonito, we had 68 sacks or whatever. But yeah, they didn't create turnovers. They seemed to allow the other team to do whatever they wanted to do between the 20s. They were number one in red zone, so thank God for that. But at the end of the day, it wasn't like we smothered them and they if you remember back in 2015, there would be drives where the team would go back and back and back and then punt. Like, we would actually move them back instead of just, let them pick up a few and then somehow stop them before field goal range kind of stuff. So I think we have good players. I think Vance Joseph is a really good coach, but he drives me a little crazy sometimes with the kind of the bend, don't break stuff. Is that what you see from them too, where they just seem to not want to let anything get behind them, let them get really close to like field goal range and then try and button it up and hold them to 3, play that game where we hold them to field goals, we score a few touchdowns, we win the game. It causes a lot of really close games.
Yeah, and I suppose that's a difference. I think it's probably, like, in some ways it's a change across the league, right? Because I think what you saw with go back to, and that our defense, the no-fly zone, go back to Seattle's Legion of Boom, and compare that to the Broncos last season or Seattle last year, right? Seattle's defense last year was exceptional. But was it as exciting as the Legion of Boom? No, because I think the way in which defenses operate, the way in which the rules operate, means that it has to change. So it's definitely gotten more conservative. Teams and defensive coordinators are less likely to take chances. Vic Fangio has had a huge influence in the way in which defenses play, and Mike Macdonald has taken that to kind of a new level. And so that is something that I don't know if that's ever coming back, right? The chances that teams were willing to take to get a jump on it, and that's a piece that we'll miss. But I think imposing the will, right? That phrase that you use, that's the biggest piece, and I think that to me is one of the things that made the no-fly zone and that 2015 defense stand out, because so often they were not helped out by their offense, right? The offense was often very, very bad. And that 2015 defense found themselves in some pretty terrible positions, and yet they came up big time and time again. And that is one of the things that I think differentiates them. And I think it's really difficult to rank, defenses across eras, right? How do you compare them to the 85 Bears and the Steel Curtain and things like that? But I think one of the things that gets underestimated about the 2015 team is the fact that they had to do it without an offense a lot of the time.
I think the Broncos offense was not helpful a lot, like during the season a lot, and in a lot of games, a lot of 3 and outs, a lot of, maybe be out for the field a little while and then punt. I think we, led the league in punts, or we were close to that. So I think we do see a change in that this year, though, Colin. I think the mindset's going to change a little bit. But you're right. I think the league, I disagree with you that we may never see it again. I think we will. Defenses, offenses adjust and they change. Fangio did his thing and it worked, and now everybody copied it. And then eventually someone will come up with a plan that works really well against that, and then everybody will have to adjust again because everybody will copy that. And it just seems like a league of chess moves that's always going back and forth. As far as Seattle, last year they were certainly the number one defense. Points per game, 17. The Broncos were 18.3. 285 yards for Seattle, 278. So we, in fact, I've got a fancy little graphic here that I put up. So here's our 2025, just some numbers. Points allowed, we were third. Total yards second, passing yards seventh, still okay, top 10 in all these metrics. Rushing yards second, red zone defense, of course, I brought that up before. We were number one, and then we were really good on third down too. So this is a great defense. I would say they're great. Okay, this really is. If you're top 5, you're pretty great in the NFL. Where some of the, do you see anything here that really jumps out at you? It's what you expected, even just watching the games with your eyes last year. You knew that they were, pretty good. But here's one. Okay, so sacks first with 68. We remember that. I think Bonito had like 14 sacks. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. But interceptions were 18th and forced fumbles 28th. That all goes into turnovers. I think Seattle had 18 interceptions. Like they have a lot of room to grow. And Sean Payton talked about that, Colin. That's a priority this year, is to create more turnovers. But with that comes risk. You're going to be jumping routes. You're going to be taking chances, which is going to make them susceptible to big plays and to double moves and all that stuff that goes with it. It is a chess move. But I think we can agree, just based on these and what we saw Colin last year, and we talked about every game last year, the defense could make a little bit more impact scoring and getting some interceptions and turnovers. That's what we're looking for this year. And I think that might be the difference between elite and great for me. Elite defenses scare you, not just with not in the old days. You mentioned the Orange Crush or the 85 Bears. Those guys, I think some offensive players were like, and it was a different game then, were like, these guys are going to kill me if I don't keep my head on a swivel. That game has kind of gone away. Like, you can't Aqib Talib, a receiver, coming across the middle and just take his head off. That's 15 yards and maybe even an ejection. So the NFL did its best to take away some of that. But speaking of takeaways, we need to get more of them.
Yeah, look, it's as simple as that. That's the piece. We've got to get more of them. Sacks are wonderful. But it's the big piece, I suppose, that changes it is when you can take away the ball from the opposition, and whether that's an interception, whether that's a forced fumble. And so that is the piece that we're going to have to see. But we're going to have to do that, Mike, without some pretty core components of what made up the defense last year. So we've got we're asking younger players to take, an enormous step up. And the funny thing is that we're not the only team asking our players to take a step up. 31 other teams are going to be doing similar.
Yeah, it's not, with JFM leaving is the big one for me. I think he will be missed more than Cooper, certainly more than, PJ Locke. But other than that, we're bringing back pretty much everyone on defense for better or worse. But I think we have a lot of good players on the team that another year in the system. Of course, another year older too, Colin. We have to talk about that. But every team, goes through this every year. There's a lot of turnover in the league. There's turnover in the Chiefs for sure. Their whole backfield, seems to be gone. We didn't do that. In fact, we still have a first-round draft pick sitting the bench waiting to come on, which will play itself out at camp. But I guess the next thing I bring up before we do this, Carmellini gets put on the spot here for the test. I do want to say thank you guys for watching. Please consider subscribing if it's your first time here. Either way, I'd love it if you guys would hit the like button. It's right in front of you. It's free. Just hit the like. It helps us out a ton. It spreads the word. The show's doing great, but we just want to reach more people. The more people we reach, the more Broncos people we get in the chat, and the more fun the show is. So appreciate you all coming in. Descriptions for everything will be down in the chat, and leave a comment and let us know what you think about how bad I screw this up. And if you have different thoughts, because I do want to ask Colin, so part of this, we're this great offense. We've lost some players. Can we come up with, how many players can we come up with on our defense that are great or that would immediately start on another team? Maybe that's a good way to measure this if we're taking a snapshot of our roster. And what I did is I just got this blank top 10. We'll just use this. I'd like to see how many players of that level you and I can come with. And I think I'll cheat and I'll put the first one up here. Our best player, arguably one of our best players on the team, Patrick Surtain, certainly is a great elite football player. We can agree on that one, I take it.
Yeah, there's no arguments there. Pat Surtain is the best cornerback in the NFL, and I would expect that to remain the case in 2026. But I will say, Mike, that it's tough. The life of a cornerback is tougher than ever now. Right, what they're expected to do with the rules being the way they are. It doesn't matter how good a cornerback you are. And Pat Surtain is an amazing cornerback. But the rules mean that and this is where, and I know you say things change, but the rules are such that Revis Island couldn't exist now, right? Revis could get away with it because the rules allowed you to be physical. And you can't do that. Everything's set up for the offense now. All right, the NFL wants points on the board. It likes that. It doesn't like the low-scoring games. So there will be occasions where even Pat Surtain, loses out at times just because of the way it is. But to me, he is the best cornerback in the league. But I think this is why we've got to take advantage of that, because that's not going to last forever. You've got another 3 years of really elite play. That doesn't mean that he can't continue to be a very good contributor, but there's a difference between, and we all remember, Champ at his very best.
I remember Champ at his worst. Yeah.
you know, it's Father Time, he comes for everyone.
I do remember when Champ fell off. I remember being in the stands at a Chiefs game, and I don't remember which one it was, but yeah, there was a tight end running out a little out route in the corner of the end zone, and he just ran right past Champ Bailey, and Champ was looking in the backfield. He was slow to react, and then the tight end actually outran him to the back pylon, and I was like right in front of me, and I was like, "Oh my God, it happened," and it sure did. He just it does happen to all of us, but you don't have to be poopy pants. You don't have to bring that up yet. He's still the best. We can just leave it at that.
I said that.
You did say it. But it's going to come to an end. True. He's still a great player, though, Colin. On the defense, I have a couple more. I'd be curious to know another one that you think of that would be immediately a starter on a good football team, or that you think is a great player on this defense.
Zach
we
Allen.
need to get. I think we need to get at least to, like, if we could get to 6, I would feel pretty good. Okay,
let's see if we get to 6. But Zach,
because that would be
Zach
good.
Allen.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah,
Zach Allen, absolutely outstanding there in the interior of the D line. Has been monstrous since he came across from the Cardinals. Got a big new deal last year. Really high motor guy, plays the same every single down, and has been really impressive, and a key piece of the defense for the Broncos over the last 3 years, and I would expect that to continue. And I do think he's a guy who would walk on to pretty much any team in the NFL. Great leadership, great attitude, and not a guy who isn't intimidated or bullied no matter who we play.
Yeah, huge Zach Allen fan. He would have been my second choice there too. He had 7 sacks last year from the interior. That's a great number. Anytime you can get around 7 or 8 sacks from the interior, that's getting it done. You expect to get close from a really good edge rusher to 10. That's kind of the 1,000-yard rushing season for an edge. If you get 10 sacks, then you're doing your job. Interior lineman getting 7 is really good. All pro, Pro Bowler, unselfish, great player, high motor, everything you want. Like, I put him certainly in the great category, and he's probably, to me, he's probably our second best defensive player. Now, I will go. I'm going to take Nick Bonito here. 14 sacks again. He's gotten somewhat better, I think, in his run fits and holding the edge. He's one of our stars. He would start on most or every team as an edge rusher, I think. I'd have to think. Maybe there's one. Can't think through the whole league, but I think Nick Bonito could certainly be, or should certainly be, in the conversation as a great player on this defense. And we're halfway to 6, Colin. Any thoughts on Nick Bonito to fight against me? You want me to move him down the list a little bit?
No, Bonito deserves his spot there. All pro last year, and deservedly so. Came up with some big moments when we needed it. Came up big in the playoffs as well, which was enormous. And I suppose the next thing you want to see is he can be devastating. He can just be a little bit streaky at times. There were weeks, I think twice maybe last year, where he went kind of 3 weeks in a row without a sack. No, look, that is criticism at the very top level. But without Cooper on the other side, because I just don't see how we keep Cooper around. There'll be more pressure. So we probably need him realistically to go from 14 sacks to 18 sacks.
Let's
And
go. Let's go.
you know, that's I think he's capable of it, but that means that you can only have a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks where you're not getting to the QB. But you look around the league, and he is as good as any pass rusher out there at the moment.
I think the teams did take away our pass rush in a few games last year where it would disappear for a while. They made, I guess, just made it a point that it was like, look, this is what they do really well. We're going to take that away from them. And NFL teams can normally take something away from you, no matter how good you are at it. There's been coaches in the past that's really good about finding what it is you do best and then take that away from you and make you do something else. The pass rush did get taken away at times where, you would see guys with just all kinds of room. The pressures were down. The all-time, time to throw, time to look downfield. So I agree. But it wouldn't be surprising to me if he is even better this year with more experience, man strength coming into play now. And I'm pretty high on Ellis, so I'm not too worried about the Cooper thing. But, we'll see how that goes. Someone stole my thunder here. This is one I didn't know we would get support from the viewers. So my ball knower viewers, they know. Broncos Unchained. I've got Hufanga here. I think he's a phenomenal safety. And I'm spelling, there it is, Hufanga, excuse me. I've got Talanoa Hufanga here on the list of really, really good. He would start on a lot of teams. Played great for us last year. I didn't really see anything that I didn't like about him. His run support was good. He played with his hair on fire. I don't know that, he's not a free safety, right? So he's, not the one getting burned, in pass coverage too often. We'll see, his second year in the season, he could even be better and go up, but I'm very high on him. I can't think of two safeties in the league that I would replace him with.
I think he is a fantastic player. I think that you're saying, like, the one area he has to improve on are his hands, because oh my goodness, he
had at least 8 interceptions.
Oh, it was unbelievable. It was, yeah. I mean, it was like, and that, I mean, okay, we're nitpicking here, but that is fair. Like that could have been transformative, right? He takes 4 of those balls, and that's a totally different outlook on the defense. And that's a piece where at the top level, right, without our QB and without RB1, we lost an AFC Championship game on the finest of margins, right?
Mm-hmm.
Though that's the type of thing where you need guys to make those plays, so that's the piece I'd like. And he's talked about it. He knew it himself. It is something that he's absolutely working on. So I hope that we will see improvement on that. But I think to me, he is a guy who, you could say that I think he walks on to probably 29 or 30 of the 32 teams.
Yeah, if you can walk on to 25 teams and become the starter, you're pretty great.
Yeah.
In my opinion. I did like this comment. The Texans might be the only team Bonito doesn't start, but it would be a hell of a 6th man. It's a good call. And then running overload front with Jonah and Q on the other side, force teams to push people towards Bonito. It's a great way to get him 18 sacks. You put I forget what they would call that package, your NASCAR package or something. I don't even know what it's called. Overload. I think we got to see something from Q Robinson. But yeah, putting 2 guys over there. I think it would not. I think it would push people the other way, right, from Bonito, and give him a one-on-one. Might be a good way to get him some looks. It'd be interesting to see. I think first of all, they're going to need to become comfortable with Jonah in the rotation, and then Q Robinson, flash at the end of the season. We need to see what he's going to bring to the table. So it's a penny front. Okay, thank you. See, as long as I got one of these guys in here, I don't have to get into the weeds. And Colin, I hate getting in the weeds. When you host 3 shows in one day, you don't have time to, go back and check the weeds. All right. We've got 4. We need 6. Whose turn? It's your turn. We have another great player on our defense. Because I have one.
I think we do. I'm gonna say I'm interested to see if you can find another. Because I'm struggling after this.
If you use mine, I'm gonna be sad.
Well, it's Jaquan McMillan, because he's the best lot in perhaps in the NFL. I think absolute superstar. He's the guy I'd like to see us get tied down, and get that taken care of. But
I don't know how to spell Jaquan.
J apostrophe. You could potentially look by his surname, MCMIL.
Jaquan.
J-A.
Oh, J-A.
Apostrophe. Q-U-A-N.
All right, they're not going to give it to me.
Try his surname. MC.
How about JMAC?
No, I think you're gonna have to.
No.
Oh,
JMAC. Boom. Custom made, baby. I tried to put J-A-Q-U-A-N. It wouldn't take it. Here, I'll show it. Let's try it again. J-A-Q-U.
Will it take his surname?
MC. Big M.
I-L.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
So you guys think I'm just stupid? I almost said the R word. All right. So maybe I am an idiot, boss man. No, I did. I typed it in. I typed it in every way.
JMAC is the guy who really brings it all together, and just goes about his business, and comes up in the biggest of moments. When you need that somebody to make a play, he is the guy who makes it happen, and I'd have no fear about him, no matter what the stage was. I don't think he gets overawed.
Yes. Boss Man, I read several, and it was really cool. Boss Man J, now remind me what it's called again. Broncos Unchained. Anyways, his articles are awesome because they're all like a graphic post. So it's just like one big poster with, writing on it and pictures and stats, and it's a really neat way of doing things. I bookmarked it, but it was on my phone at 2:00 in the morning last night. So I will look up the link to that and put it in the description. You guys go check him out. Really cool stuff from one of our viewers here. Obviously knows his stuff. So here it is right there. Altitude Unchained. Go check that out. Google that and you'll find it. It's a really cool format, Colin. Especially for ADD guys like me that instead of reading, this long 10 pages, it's like this graphic, and then there's, highlights, there's analysis, and then there's all kinds of stuff, but it's a really cool look. I don't have the ability or patience to do anything like that. So definitely a great place for that. I like JMAC there. That was my pick. Now, look, we've got some good players here.
Yeah, and that's I think we do have some good players, but I think any of those 5 genuinely can walk on to the overriding majority of other NFL teams.
Mhm.
I think after that, you've got nice pieces, but I think you're struggling to convince me that those guys are walking on
Well,
to.
I think Brandon Jones could start on a lot of teams. He's 28 years old, injured last year. He's right on the edge. Like, I would say he's a good safety, but I don't think he's a great safety. Yeah, I like DJ Jones too. I see that. I thought about that, but I would like he's a really solid, good Bronco. But I'm looking for great or elite here, and JFM would have made this list for me. Like, he's a great defensive lineman for me. But it would have been really hard to put him on there. Like, he's just like right on the edge of it. Like, if Zach Allen left the team, I would be devastated.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not happy that JFM left, but I didn't really lose any sleep over it, even though he had 7.5 sacks and was a big part of our defense. I just,
I think part of that is the fact that we knew it was coming as well. I think that helped with the JFM piece because it was so obvious for so long, that was where we're headed.
Yeah, I'm trying not to be. I'm always the homer on this show with you, and we're both love the Broncos. Let's be honest, but I will let even though they look clear, these glasses, they are very orange tinted. But look, 5 great players on an 11-man side of the ball, depending on your rotation, but 11 men on the field. It's pretty good. You've got some, I'm glad you called out JMAC and that there was no argument between us on that. I was willing to hop on a flight to Dublin and get in the ring with you to fight for my guy. I was on a show the other day or last week, Altitude Adjustment, with Mario and Dave. Joined me over there, and he asked the question. I don't know if I talked to you about this, but it was, if you had to choose, one of these players was leaving, if you had to choose which one to keep, Riley Moss or JMAC, which would it be? And it took me, I didn't even take a breath before I spoke. Like, he's better at his position than Riley Moss is at his, and I get cornerback over nickel back or slot back is a more valuable position. There's weight, but even with that, JMAC's one of the best in the league at that position. Like, it wasn't even a choice. And also, we got a first-round draft pick that can't get on the field. Maybe it's time to, anyways. So Moss isn't really in the conversation for me. I'd let him walk, although I think he's better than Broncos country gives him credit for generally. He's got a tough job.
I'm very interested to see. I think it's obviously, look, it's a contract year. It's a very big year, right? For him. Can he learn from his mistakes, right? Because Bowles did, right?
Yes.
I think one of the big things about Gareth Bowles and why it's such a great story is because he did learn, right? There's some people out there who will try to tell you that Gareth Bowles was always fantastic and was just reffed horribly. That is not the case. Gareth Bowles was horrible when he first started, but through persistence, through hard work, he made himself. He always had the physical side of things. He's absolutely monstrous size of a man. It was the concentration. It was he'd get caught, and as a result, he'd hold. Riley Moss has the opportunity now, right? The off season to go back. It's not like refs. They stopped calling it on Bowles because he stopped holding. So Riley Moss, up to you.
Bossman says to play opposite PS2, you need to be a cornerback 1 on another team, and that's just not Riley. He had the most pass breakups, but gave up 3rd most receiving yards on the team. Or you saying in the league or on the team? If that's the league,
he gets targeted, right? Because
he gets most of the targets. Yeah,
people feel that you're in with a chance, right? He might make a play, but there's also the opportunity he'll cold, or there's the opportunity, that he gets burned, and that is a real problem when
that string of holding calls when he got the reputation, I thought he deserved the reputation, but then it got abused and it got out of hand.
Still say you get picked on, right? Guys are going to try and sell it as well, right? Yeah. You've got to be clever.
That's my crackerback, though. Still like him. Glad he's here for now. Whoever's over there is going to have their work cut out for him. So, did we do that with the offense? Did we find?
We did that with the offense last year.
I wonder how many we came up with on the offense. I have to go back and check that. I think it was obviously Jalen Waddle.
I thought we did. We got to do. Well, we may come back. Let's see if we did it. We got to do the PFF team of the last 20 years.
All right, let's get it to it. All right, let me get just a couple while we get that set up. Vic says Moss is solid, though. Yes, he is solid. And the plays got ridiculous. Yeah, I said on that. And then, of course, Bossman, listen, you can make 80% of the plays, but if that 20% is 40 yards or touchdowns, it's not acceptable. I agree. Like he was real hit or miss. Tough job, hit or miss, but it could be worse. I remember the game against, was it Cleveland? Where who did we have? I forget the cornerback we had in the game was it PS2 that missed the game or Moss that missed the game? I think it was PS2. And a former Bronco had like 200 and something yards in receiving in that game. So it could be worse. It could be worse than Moss. So hopefully he worked hard. They get him some help, fix some of that stuff. Some calls were BS. If you remember years back, Von Miller got called for 6 offside penalties in a game in San Francisco because he was labeled as a player who jumps before the snap. It's crazy. He was so good at his get off that they were calling him offsides when he wasn't even offsides. And he did have, some, but he pushed it. All right, let's do it. Are you ready? You got me set up now. Set this up for the people that didn't see the last show.
So
what are we doing here?
This is a piece that PFF did, or whatever kind of shell of PFF still exists. Yeah. But I did think this was one of the few things I've seen them do recently that was interesting, at least.
And it was Barnwell.
No, this was the Barnwell was the piece about the weapons. This was the PFF piece. And so last week we looked at the offense, the best offensive players over the last 20 years, and that was Peyton as the QB, CJ Anderson.
Yep.
They had Thomas, B. Marsh, and Emmanuel Sanders. They did not have Cortland Sutton. We had said that I think both of us were going to have Cortland over B. Marsh. But that was the rest of the offense. Now we come to the defense, and I think this will be an interesting one, right? Because interested in your take on this, and we can kind of start. We can start wherever. Will we start on the edge? If I was to ask you for your 2 best edge guys of the 2 best edge Broncos of the last 20 years.
I don't think this one's very difficult for me. Von Miller, of course, one of the greatest edge rushers of Broncos history. Perhaps the best. Gosh, a second since 06. Who was the one that went to Tampa?
I think you for me there are two beside Vaughn, obviously. I think you've got DeMarcus Ware, because I don't think
he was still there.
I don't think we win Super Bowl 50 without DeMarcus coming in and his influence on Vaughn. And I think Elvis. I think had the fax machine not malfunctioned, Elvis might not have left the building.
This is why I need reference in front of me, because I couldn't remember when Elvis Dumervil played and when he left.
Now, what I will say, so those are like mine.
Benito,
they
Elvis,
went with Shaq Barrett.
Yeah, Shaq Barrett. That's who he went to Tampa, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Shaq was absolutely phenomenal for down in Tampa. But I think I think they're judging him off his Tampa time as opposed to his Broncos time, right? Because his best season as a Bronco was in that 2015 season, where he started 6 games and he'd 5.5 sacks. After that, right, he went a sack and a half the following year, then 4, and then 3. Then he goes to Tampa and he's got 19 and a half sacks in his first season in Tampa. So,
all right. So,
I think they're judging off
10
of
years
that.
ago. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, no.
I like DeMarcus Ware a lot.
Yeah, I think they put too much into the fact that DeMarcus was a Cowboy for the vast majority of his career. But I think what he did when he came to the Broncos was so key to us winning Super Bowl 50.
Now, was he there 3 years, 2 or 3 years?
3 years, yeah.
Okay.
Just the 3 years, but the impact that he had on Vaughn was absolutely enormous, and you hear guys talk about it. Right then, if I don't think there's going to be too much argument about the cornerbacks. Maybe we'll see. Who would you have? You got two cornerbacks of the slot.
Okay, well certainly going to take PS2.
Yep.
Champ Bailey.
Yep.
And then nickel. I don't know if anybody is going to like this but me, but man, I love Chris Harris Jr.
Well,
undrafted player. He should be. He should have consideration.
Yeah, no. Chris in the slot. I mean, I think that's probably the right answer. It is that it is those 3 guys. I think the piece of where it probably feels a little bit you feel a little bit for Talib, because again I think a key piece in us winning, but I just don't think I think Champ deserves to be there given everything that he did. If we go to safeties, then who would you have as your top safeties for the Broncos of the last 20 years?
Justin Simmons for free safety, probably. Like more interceptions and just big plays. Is it too soon for Hufanga?
I don't know. I don't know if it is, Mike.
Let's see this. When did Atwater retire? 99?
Yeah, no,
2002, something like that.
He's not.
What was the guy we got that hit too hard and got in trouble all the time. Kareem Jackson. I'm trying to think.
And hey, people are going to hate this. The most overrated Bronco there has ever been.
Not ever.
Beloved by Broncos media because he was their best buddy and he'd invite him over to barbecue. So all of the media guys absolutely loved him. Never had a winning season. The dumb as rocks. Got beaten time and time again, but would make one big play where he laid a guy out, took his own player out. And Broncos media tried to pretend that he didn't. Could have got it, ended up getting ejected later in that game. I have zero time for Kareem Jackson.
Okay. I see the name now. When was John Lynch? When was he there?
No, John just doesn't. This is the problem. The 20 years kind of kills us. To me, the other guy I would have in there, they did put Kareem Jackson in there. So proving that, beloved by media everywhere. Darian Stewart, I would have in there. Super Bowl 50 winner. I think or
solid.
Hufanga.
I take Hufanga over Darian Stewart. I like Darian Stewart. He benefited from the no-fly zone. I think.
Oh, he did absolutely.
So I liked it that I put at least two of our current players there. I'd go Hufanga. I like Darian Stewart too, but I never thought he was like great. And I think Hufanga is great. So I thought he was good. I thought he was solid. He made some big plays in some big times, but I mean, we can argue about it or not. It doesn't really matter. It's just our opinion. But John Lynch wasn't around in 2006. He wasn't.
But you see, you're trying to judge it off. Like you can't judge the years that John Lynch had before. It's from 2006 onwards.
All right, fine. So you're gonna give me new rules now.
Now here's where a chat. Here's where we might need chat. We might need chat here. The middle linebackers.
Cornbread's in here.
Who are?
Hang on 1 second. I was told that Cornbread is here, but I don't see him. Am I missing something? TJ Ward. He wasn't around.
TJ was.
Oh wait, TJ Ward. Yeah, why don't we even talk about TJ Ward?
I like TJ again.
I'd put TJ Ward over Hufanga. Yeah. I forgot about it. I don't know what I'm thinking. Give me TJ Ward there.
I like TJ.
Yeah, Stewart was a hitter. TJ Ward was a hitter too. Al Wilson was a quarterback or a linebacker. So
yes, Al. Yeah. But here we go. Who are we going for middle linebackers?
Man, that's like our worst position in so long.
Isn't it?
I should turn this chat off for a minute so they don't steer me. I know somebody's going to give me a name and it's going to.
Who chat might go with, because I think.
Yeah. I got to close that.
Somebody's mentioned Al Wilson, but Al finished in 06. Doesn't leave you with a whole lot.
That probably just leaves us with Brandon Marshall would be somebody that kind of lived off his laurels too.
Yeah, B Marsh is there. They have, and this is what I found interesting. They have Alexander Johnson, and the T-Rex, but
yeah.
Man, he came in with like such a big reputation and never like really lived up to it. I felt.
Well, he never really fit for some reason. I mean, I liked him. I talked about him the other day, but
I thought again he was a big hitter, certainly, but he just didn't have the range or the speed. That was one of the issues, and B Marsh B Marsh was there, but B Marsh is another who you kind of it's definitely an area.
What's the guy we lost? We lost a guy.
We really struggle.
Not Trayvon. Trevathan. When did Danny Trevathan leave?
Danny went after
He went to Chicago
Super
or
Bowl.
something.
Yeah, he did.
Give me Danny Trevathan here. I was a Danny Trevathan fan. I liked him.
Again, another guy who hit hard. Big hits. Definitely.
Yeah, give me Marshall and Trevathan there. I'll take Trevathan over Alexander.
You know, we had Wesley Woodyard in there as well.
Yeah.
It's definitely a position. You know, that
we've had good but not great for a long time.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
We're still looking for that. Red Murdoch's going to be the next great one. Just wait.
That's the hope.
That's the hope.
Yeah, if we go then to the interior of the line, so we need 3 guys for the interior of the line. Now I think one of those, the Malik Jackson is probably the standout.
Malik will be easy, and then for me, Zach Allen is right there. Does that work? Is that considered?
I could. I mean, they went Derek Wolfe, but I think Zach. Allen.
I love Derek Wolfe, but I'd take Zach Allen over him.
Mm-hmm.
And then
they put
Jones.
And they slotted
Harris.
Yeah, they put Shelby in as the nose. I don't think Shelby's a nose, but
position, but we'll take it.
You can. I mean, Shelby was a lot of fun, and Shelby's ability to, make big plays happen, particularly get that big arm up on field goals and interceptions, was definitely a piece that. But he played on some really terrible Broncos teams.
Who else was on the 2015 team? Because Shelby was after that.
Shelby did arrive, after that, because that was he famously said, we're going 16-0 until the record says otherwise. First week, the record said otherwise.
Yeah.
Sylvester Williams was our nose tackle in the 2015 season.
He never lived up to it for me. He was fine. DJ Jones, Sylvester Williams, Shelby. I wonder if Shelby Harris might be I'm looking for Terrence Knighton.
DJ is not a given what we've had.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's an area where we've struggled a little bit, I feel.
Wasn't Terrence Knighton known as Meatloaf? Wasn't that him or something like that, or was it
pot roast?
Pot roast, yeah, okay. I liked him too.
He was a lot of those guys tend to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think they all kind of blend together for me. I can't really come up with a clear winner here. I mean, we're not looking for Hall of Famers. We're looking for who our best player at that position.
Yeah. Exactly. And the best of the last 20 years as well.
Yeah, pot roast. Got it. Malik Jackson was the first one we mentioned for sure.
Yeah, Malik stands out. Like he was great.
Yeah, we already got that. Already got all that. Let's see. Sorry about that.
Derek Wolfe lost his mind with Nicky at one point. I don't know if people remember that.
Lost his mind with who?
Nicky Javela, the reporter.
Jabala?
Yeah.
No, I don't remember that. I remember him. Wasn't he the one that said he was going to eat Phillip Rivers' kids?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. Give me. I don't know.
I
was a big fan of Shelby Harris, so just give me Shelby. And that was who they had too.
That's who they had. Yeah.
I don't want to have it if that's what they had. I want to have. I don't want to agree with anything that trash organization said, but I do. That's probably who I would go with.
It truly is the husk of what it once was.
You ate a baby. Good Lord. Okay, did we get them all?
We did. That's it. That was that.
I mean, I don't know. Like, it's a fun exercise. We got to bring up some players I hadn't thought about in a while, of course. Terrence Knighton being one. I hadn't thought about him in a minute. Forgot about Wesley Woodyard. Was he undrafted too?
Wesley was he was a good player for.
He was
like a lot of these guys were solid players. I mean, they're not setting the world on fire.
I thought Danny Trevathan was one of our best linebackers that we had for a long time. I wish we would have kept him. I think he could have grown into something better than, we had Jewel. We've been through just a bunch of guys since then.
Man. My God, Josie Jewell,
I didn't see any votes
another camp darling that Broncos fans fell absolutely head over heels in love with.
Yeah, Rich said he was a UDFA, so I thought he was. And I liked Wesley Woodyard.
The outlaw, that was just
the outlaw. Yeah.
Yeah. See, sometimes guys they're a lot of fun and stuff, and you think they're great, and then you see them go to another franchise and you realize, actually.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You guys, I can't believe I have my own viewers telling me that Chris Harris Jr. was undrafted.
Yeah.
It's hurtful, guys. It's literally hurtful that you think I need to know that. Oh, and that C.J. Anderson was too. I did not know that. I had no idea. Come on, guys. Give me a break. I literally said it earlier on the show that Chris Harris Jr. was undrafted, should probably be in the Hall of Fame, and should definitely be in the Ring of Fame. So he's one of the greatest. He and Rod Smith are two of the best undrafted players of all time, much less Broncos. But yes, I do know this stuff. I'm not as dumb as I look or as I sound. And Bossman's one of the best comment of the day. He was also undrafted. Mike, I just came in. Also, you're old. LOL. I got accused on last night's show or night before on Friday night. I did open mic night, which is quickly becoming my favorite solo show of the week, where I just open it up to all these useful idiots in my chat to join this useful idiot. And Martin accused me of spending an hour in the makeup room before the show. All I did was fix the lights, guys. That's it. It's just the lights. There's no makeup rooms. So I did a close-up so you guys could see every wrinkle and blemish on my face. So, all right. We do have time. Do we have time? I just want to do this quick exercise. Chat, you can help. All right. How many great players do we have on offense that would start on another team? On a lot of teams. I'll give you Waddle on offense. I have another one, and you're not going to like it.
Who's the? Bowles, absolutely. Bowles walks onto pretty much every single team that we have. Yeah, sure. When he's fit, absolutely.
Don't say it.
When he's fit, absolutely.
Miners. There's 4 right there.
Yeah.
Chat, what do you think? Anybody? Dobbins, Waddle. Yep, got that. Bowles, McGlinchey. Now McGlinchey could, the way he played last year, he would certainly be a starter on a lot of teams.
Mm-hmm.
He's a really good. I'm considering putting him on this list, but I need a consensus. Would you put him on this list, Colin?
I think he's a very good player.
Yeah.
I like.
He was great last year, but that's 1 year. Like, I don't know. He's very good. He's a very good right tackle. I'm glad we have him. You're right. I can't. I'm getting all orange colored glasses. I'm trying to get to 6. I want my Broncos to be good. Now I think Bo Nix would start on a lot of teams, but we'd have to go through all the teams to do that. And maybe we'll do that next week, guys. But he's I think next year, if things go the way I hope, he'll be right there at the top of the list.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Court. Rich says Court if we allow for wide receiver 2. But I think Court at this point in his career, he's a really good receiver. Great. I don't know. I mean, Mims is a all-pro return man, but I can't put him on there, Vic, for offense as much as I'd love to see he and Waddle on the field at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, what we're doing here is we're saying like the
elite and great.
Yeah, and that's the piece. I mean, when you're talking about wide receivers, you're talking about going up against JSN, Puka Nacua, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, George Pickens, Amon-Ra. That's kind of what you're talking about. And I just don't
That's
see
it. That's it. You got, Bo Nix, Dobbins I put on there, top 5. Court, Waddle, Frank, Ingram, Prentice, Bowles is on there. Miners is on there. And then you got McClinchy, who's, I'm on the fence with. I'm comfortable leaving that, where it is. I hate to say it. I see some, I see Court as wide receiver 3, red zone threat at best these days. Yeah, we've had this argument, and I know you want Mims, and I try to talk myself into Mims, but I can't put him on great as a receiver on offense. I just can't put somebody that has really good stats and is really fast, but only catches 200 yards worth of balls or whatever. Like, I need to see him be great, not just look great to me. Like, they need to use him, and I do agree with that. But Bossman and I are arguing about the lineup, and he says that it's going to be Mims and Waddle are going to be our starting 2 wide receivers this year, and that maybe even somebody else in the Court will be like 4th and 5th, is what I read on his site. I still completely disagree with that. I still say Court and Waddle will be out there as your number 1 and 2, and Frank, Pat, and Mims will be 3 and 4 on the field when they're on the field. And that will be that way unless someone's injured for the rest of the season. That's my bet on that. Colin, what do you think about that? I know you like to argue with me.
I do like to argue with you, and I don't see it in that. I think Mims has a very much a role, but I just don't see him as him and Waddle, as 1-2. We might see more of Mims, sure, but I don't see him being 2. I do think we'll see more of him, certainly, but probably not 1-2. No.
Yeah, it's real contentious. And I don't want anybody to get confused. Like, I love the idea of Mims and Waddle on the field at the same time. I would hate to be.
We will see that.
Yeah.
I just don't think we'll see it all the time.
Yeah, that won't be their base, formation. Now Mims could be in there with Court and Waddle as that 3rd, or with Frank, or Hill. Not Hill, Pat Bryant. Pat Bryant just seems like a smoother, more accomplished route runner. He's got great hands, can't stay healthy, but we've been through all that. Yeah, don't take the cornbread bet. That's milk and cornbread, dude, in a glass. Stay away from that. Run from that. And where the hell is he anyway? Does he not know that we're on here? No Waddle, Franklin, Bryant, Mims. What does that mean? I heard from someone who knows Davis personally. You'll see. So, we'll see. And I told you, I believe you. I just don't see it. I don't, as much as I want it, I don't see it. I don't believe it until it happens. So, putting Court on the sideline and marching Mims and Waddle out there down to down, I don't know. I'll be surprised. I don't know if I won't be upset, but I'll be surprised. So, great job in the chat. As always, Colin, did we cover everything, or did I? Because I got lost.
No,
in the
we
chat
did. We did. We covered everything.
Yeah, this is the truth. So you're saying things that I know, like he just catches the ball and then like that's it. He's done. There's no yak with him. I get it. Yeah, there's gonna be some packages. You guys are just see. This is why I can never get out of a show. Everybody, it's like karaoke night at a bar. Like the poor karaoke guy is up there all night.
Sometimes you just gotta call it.
He's like trying to get people up there and nobody wants to come up. And then he says, okay, we're closing in a half hour. And then he gets a line of 100 people that want to come in and get in there, get in there and sing a song. Speed and stretching the field was a major issue. Yeah, we lacked explosive. And that's why they brought Waddle in. That's exactly why they did. And yeah, if they want to double him, look, Mims is clutch. He'll catch anything you throw his way. He fights for 50-50 balls. He does everything I like that he does. But the team to date has not trusted him to, run all the routes and be out there all the time, obviously, because he's not. So I'm just going off of what I see. I was walking by the TV. What are y'all saying about me? We're saying that you're not in here, and we were wondering where you were. We were about to do a welfare check on you. We're going to send the cops over. All right, Rich, thanks for coming in. Boss man, thank you for coming in. He's got a new article. Oh, I have to send you a new article called The Geometry of Nightmares. Are you sure it's not posted? Because I thought I saw it. Or it had a title quite like that. But guys, again, make sure you check out Boss Man. I will go up and copy that link again and put it in the description for you guys. I want to thank everybody for coming in the chat, especially members. This was almost a members only chat. Which would have been fine, except I would have missed a few of you today. And I knew we had a lot to get to, and so there are going to be members-only chats coming up. But since we're on at 10 o'clock in the morning, I didn't know there was going to be 145 of you watching live, like I see in the corner of my screen right now. So thank you to everyone who watched today. Thanks for everybody coming in the chat. Please hit like on the way out if you would. Makes a huge difference. It made a great difference on Friday night. A small stream, but everybody hit like that was in there, and YouTube took care of me and sent it out to more people. So we'd love to see a lot more people see this one, and I'd like to see Colin a lot more than usual. Colin, we almost had you on Believe in Broncos today, but David, has out house hunting.
Sometime soon.
So we want to have you on. I hope you'll grace us with your presence on Believe in Broncos. That's for those of you that don't know. If there's anybody left that doesn't know, yeah, we are on the Believe in Broncos network, and you're going to see us 3-4 times a week. So if you're not sick of us yet, you will be by the time the season rolls around. For Colin Cronin of the Dublin to Denver podcast, the best Broncos podcast out there, I'm Mike Carmellini. For all of you monsters in the chat, thank you for coming in. He loves the Irish accent. I'd love it too. I think mine sounds Irish or something. I'm not sure. I got to work on it. 3 times more work on my accent. It's terrible. That's so bad. I'm sorry. Go Broncos. Go Weekend. Go Sunday. Go America. Colin, talk to you real soon. See you guys.
Talk to you soon.